really is a regular on my show, and also Mr. K.S. Prasad, senior journalist and political analyst, all through regulars on the show with the South Indian. And first up, let me show you the message of Sonia Gandhi.
तेलंगाना की मेरी बहनों और प्यारे भाइयों, नमस्कारम। मैं आपके बीच नहीं आ पाई, लेकिन आप सब मेरे दिल के बहुत करीब हो। आज मैं आपसे कुछ कहना चाहती हूँ। तेलंगाना माँ के शहीद के बेटों का सपना मैं पूरा होते देखना चाहती हूँ। मैं दिल से चाहती हूँ कि दोराला तेलंगाना को हम सब प्रजाला तेलंगाना में बदल दे, आपके सपनों को साकार करें और आपको एक सच्ची और ईमानदार सरकार दे। आपने सोनिया अम्मा कहकर मुझे अपार श्रद्धा और सम्मान दिया है। मुझे माँ सम्मान माना। इस प्रेम और आदर के लिए मैं आपकी सदा आभारी रहूंगी और आपके प्रति हमेशा के लिए समर्पित रहूंगी। तेलंगाना की अपनी बहनों से, अपनी माताओं से, तेलंगाना के अपने बेटों से, अपनी बेटियों से, अपने भाइयों से मेरी गुजारिश है, इस बार अपनी पूरी शक्ति बदलाव लाने के लिए इस्तेमाल करो। कांग्रेस के लिए वोट करो। मार्पू कवाली, कांग्रेस रवली। जय तेलंगाना, जय हिंद।
Marappu Kavali, my God, I mean, you know, it makes us feel so good when somebody speaks our language. But you know what? What stood out for me in her message was her emphasis on the Amma factor. Now listen, the Amma factor is very different. It plays out differently in North India. I am not sitting on judgment on the North. I won't. I live in the North. But it has a different meaning, nuance when we speak about, when we call someone Amma in the South. And also her appeal to fellow women. Listen to this again, and I go to all my guests to speak about this.
आपने सोनिया अम्मा कहकर मुझे अपार श्रद्धा और सम्मान दिया है। माँ सम्मान माना। इस प्रेम और आदर के लिए मैं आपकी सदा आभारी रहूंगी और आपके प्रति हमेशा के लिए समर्पित हूँ। अपनी बहनों से, अपनी माताओं से, तेलंगाना के अपने बेटों से, अपनी बेटियों से, अपने भाइयों से मेरी गुजारिश है, इस बार अपनी पूरी शक्ति बदलाव लाने के लिए इस्तेमाल करो।
You know, when we say Amma in the South, I mean, you must have heard of Jayalalitha. She was addressed as Amma in Tamil Nadu, and of course, Indira Gandhi was also addressed as Amma. Sonia said she's been addressed as Amma in the South. You can be this little and you're called Ma. You know, if you do not know a little girl's name, just call her Amma. She'll turn back and talk to you. So that's the beauty of the word, and it has a very, very emotional connect in the South. Nagesh, do you think that, you know, this entire thing about the Amma factor of appealing, an emotional appeal, because Indira Gandhi in undivided Andhra Pradesh was called Indramma, right? Even Indramma Indlu, their scheme is named after her. Do you think this is really an emotional tug which Sonia Gandhi has worked very well? What is your opinion on this?
Yes, exactly. You know, she has tried to appeal directly to people, saying that they loved her like an amma, like a mother. They treated her like a mother. But you know, I would like to slightly, you know, differ on that question, because Indrama sounded very well. I mean, people treated Indira as Indrama, but Sonia less so. I mean, in the sense that yes, they also, you know, Amma is more of a generic word in the sense that it is used for younger people in a
Yes.
patronizing way and even for elders as a way of respect. But less so in the case of Sonia Gandhi, people did not refer to her as Soniamma because the expression itself doesn't sound as well as Indiramma did. But her statement, her appeal had three components. One, her appeal by saying that you love me, Amma. The second was her emphasis on how Telangana came into being. I
Yes.
mean, she is trying to take credit for the
Yeah.
Telangana statehood, and generally she is saying that you vote for us on the basis of what
You know,
we
yeah, yeah,
what.
yeah. You know, Nagesh Garu, you really hit the nail on the head. I want to talk about the statehood thing of it. You know, KCR Garu, I mean, spoke about in the latter part of the campaigning. You know, he did around 90 odd campaigns, if I'm not wrong. He did speak about statehood. I was the one. Because of me, Telangana was born. But you know, unlike the first time when he fought the elections, when he took entire credit, and rightly so, I think he should have. But then this time around, do you think that Sonia Gandhi has actually now taken it, and with this statement, that so-called last statement before the state goes to polls tomorrow, has taken it, apportioned it to the Congress party? That is the statehood credit, Nagesh Garu.
You see, as far as is concerned, he has never pushed this Telangana sentiment to the background. Maybe other issues have been given prominence, but he has always tried to capitalize on the Telangana sentiment, which of course he did in 2014, he did it in 2018. And now, if you see the newspapers today is actually, the day of the Diksha. Diksha means
Yeah.
this is the day on which he observed that hunger strike. And so the newspapers were splashed on the front page with advertisements showing KCR, undertaking the fast. And then, his hair is disheveled and he has grown a beard. And, he's waving to the people from the bed seeking a separate statehood for Telangana. That is a strong emotional appeal that he is making to the people, and his party cadre, they held sort of Diksha everywhere to signify
Right.
the movement, that is the Diksha.
All right.
So, he has never given up the Telangana sentiment.
All right. Mr. K.S. Prasad, do you think that, this, what Sonia Gandhi spoke about, the statehood of Telangana, about being the mother, the Amma factor, and the third factor, and that being appealing to the women, to my sisters, to my daughters, to come out and vote. We have discussed this on my show before, that how the female voters have now increased. Elections, the tide can change if the women decide to kind of change the tide and vote for a particular party. We saw it happening in Bihar many years ago. So I'm asking you, a very, very clever tactic there by Mrs. Sonia Gandhi, making her special appeal to the women, Mr. Prasad?
Good evening, ma'am, and good evening to the panelists, and special respects to my Nagesh sir, is our senior actually. Today, the way she addressed to the Telangana people, and the way we have been all treated our Amma, because the way she has given Telangana in an option left situation. If they fail to give the Telangana, the very next moment BJP is ready to give the Telangana. And apart from all that, the considerations to the Congress, even after treating her as an Amma in Telangana, we have been given continuously around 21 seats, even after Mahakotami also. The first time the stake of Telangana Rashtra Samiti has got 63 seats, even after Congress has only got 21. Apart from all this, Congress, even after trying their best, in today's situation, the Amma factor is absolutely an expiry product as far as Telangana is concerned, particularly to the Congress. The respect towards Amma as a given Telangana, we are all given to the same, but it is converting to the votes, which is impossible to ask and which is not happening. In the history of Congress, and particularly in 52 constituencies in Telangana, they have never even won. And apart from that, the people like Rajshekar Reddy Garu, P.V. Narasimha Rao and Chenna Reddy time also, they have not even won less than 52 seats. Today, in hypothetical equation, the percentage of votes are also, it is not even crossed 37% for Congress. But as far as BJP is concerned, in the 2018, they only got 6%. And today it is enhanced to around 16 to 18%,
All right.
unfortunately. The traveling vote bank to the Congress, which was not happening. And fortunately, the consecutive percentage of 45, around 45% has been maintained by BRS. So in this scenario, even after address the situation by Congress head Sonia Gandhi, but the conversion of vote bank, particularly to the appeal to the women voters, the beneficiaries as far as Telangana state is concerned, which are more from
Right.
BRS party, who are all taken the benefits from the government. So in the same scenario, the appeal to an extent is fine because the respect what we have on Sonia may not turn as a votes to Congress.
All right. There, Nagesh Kumar and Mr. Prasad, both of them, they say, okay, fine. I mean, she said this, the Amma factor, the emotional appeal, but whether that will convert into votes is doubtful. I'm going to Bhanu Chandar, right, who's there, who hasn't yet spoken. Bhanu Chandar, I want to ask you that why is it then? Okay, going by what Mr. Nagesh Kumar said and Mr. Prasad said, I want to ask you, then why is it that the Congress party uses Sonia Gandhi to announce the guarantees? She was the one who announced the guarantees in Telangana. It was not Rahul Gandhi or Mr. Kharge. Sonia Gandhi, she did it. Also, the last message comes from her. Interim, everyone comes and goes. Rahul, Priyanka, so on, so forth. Revant Reddy, this Reddy, that Reddy. Then why is it that they are wasting their time if there is no kind of connect or an appeal? Somewhere I feel that in rural Telangana maybe this appeal for a woman who may not be Amma like Indrama. After all, it's the same thing that my grandmother cannot be my mother and so on and so forth, but they are both women of my family. Do you think it is kind of we should completely discount this or give it some kind of credence? Bhanu.
Good evening to everyone. See, there are 3-4 issues that you have taken up, and I want to address it one by one. One is the use of Sonia Gandhi ji in the campaign. She's the tallest leader in the party,
right.
Still revered by the cadre and the people, and she's in this post. So I think they're using her sparingly. Okay, and so they are using her for the important announcement during the announcement of the guarantees and the last-minute push during the campaign. That's number one. Number two is the campaign. Congress campaign has been designed very cleverly by the campaign managers. In the last minute, they are actually appealing to emotion and voters. For example, this message from Sonia Gandhi, and there was an evoking of Indrama Rajyam as well. And if you look at Rahul and Priyanka's roadshows as well, it is full of Mohabbat ki Karavan, selfies, going on an auto, and so on, and just alluding to the 6 guarantees. I think Sonia Gandhi also in this appeal, as you have rightly pointed out, just sort of indicated to an important target group, which is the women. And if you look at the guarantees, like many of them are targeted women. They have promised gas cylinders, electricity, 2,500 rupees, and so on. So I think this is one last point, Sudha, and I think the last one other issue that you took up was the birth of Telangana, which is a very emotional and fraught issue both in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. And I think both parties are trying to take credit, and Indrama giving figuratively birth to Telangana is what the Congress was trying to use the appeal for. And like what Mr. Nageshwar was pointing, KCR Garu was actually putting out this photograph of the struggle in the newspapers.
Okay, so you are not kind of, diluting it so much as the other two. Interesting. Second issue. I'm going to talk about, the shadow of Karnataka. The fabulous victory in Karnataka, that shadow has loomed large in Telangana. From Karnataka, you will see they have not missed a single opportunity of evoking it. The 5 guarantees became 6 in Telangana, and almost the entire cabinet of Karnataka had come to Telangana to campaign for the party.
6 गारंटी आपको दे रहे हैं। जैसा कर्नाटक में हम 5 गारंटी देकर और वहां के जनता को आज 5 के 5 गारंटी का जो डेट दिए थे आज वो इम्प्लीमेंट हो रहा है। चंद लोग बोलते हैं अरे जाके देखो कर्नाटक वाले इतना दिए क्या मिला, अरे सब मिल रहा है, आप झूठ क्यों बोलते हो?
It became so much the shadow of Karnataka that the election commission actually had to issue a notice to the Karnataka government asking why it had its ad published and publicized in Telangana.
Whatever our government have done in our state, there are a lot of Telugu people speaking here also. Lot of the other languages speaking. So we have given advertisement as what we have done in our government. We have not asked forward with anyone.
Mr. Nagesh Kumar, do you think that this kind of cascading effect, a domino effect is going to work? Then what is the point of treating every state differently? Karnataka and Telangana and Tamil Nadu may be neighboring states, but there is a big difference in the demographics of it, in the history of everything. Do you think that this is overdoing it? Don't you think they are going over the top with this Karnataka angle in Telangana?
No, they are not overdoing it. They want to encash upon the goodwill that they have earned in Karnataka. And, the 5 guarantees have succeeded there. And these people, the Congress leaders wanted to have, to emulate the same in Telangana. And they announced 6 guarantees. It's a different thing that when they went to Rajasthan, the number increased to 7 guarantees.
Yeah.
See, the point is, the larger point here is that, the Congress sees for itself a good opportunity to win the Chhattisgarh election. And Karnataka is already in their bag.
Yeah.
If they manage to win Telangana also, remember, a part of South India and Central India will be in their bag. So that is why, and it has worked, the Congress campaign, which was lagging behind. You see, about 6 to 8 months ago, it was considered a triangular contest between the BJP, Congress and the BRS. But it is no longer the case. The Congress has surged ahead of BJP and now it's a neck and neck contest with the BRS and between BRS and the Congress. So I think the Karnataka effect is quite visible on the Telangana elections.
Right.
And the Congress did not commit a mistake.
All right. So according to him, he says, very good strategy, electoral strategy. What do you think, Mr. Prasad? Do you think they are overdoing it? Do you think for a man who's sitting in Nalgonda or someone who's sitting in, let us say, Kukatpalli, it matters how the Congress did in Karnataka, let us say in Devangere or Udupi? I don't think it matters, but Nagesh Kumar says it matters. There is a shadow which is a good shadow.
Ma'am, respect to Nagesh sir, the people who are really in Telangana is not worried about what the hell is taking place in Karnataka. If you really look into the figures, the promises what been made by Congress, it costs 1,77,600 rupees, 600 crores. But when it comes to receipts of Telangana is concerned, 1,33,000 crores only. How it matters, the difference, how they can compensate, because they are not in power in central. The purpose of Telangana, how it has happened, for the sake of Nilu Nidulu Niyamakalu. For the sake of Nidulu is concerned, which was not being given by respect to BJP government, which was in central. So how these people can compensate the different figure? We have been hearing about the promises which were made in the floor of house by Mr. Manmohan Singh. After that, the Narendra Modi. Nobody has bothered to do something for Telangana, which nothing has been given by these two parties. And how things will place when it comes to their promise, sir. But Karnataka, the miserable failures are failures within a span of 6 months. How they can see the success? When
I'm not going into the failure of it, but you are saying what you say, which you agreed with me, Mr. Prasad, and I'm so honored, where you say it doesn't matter. Nagesh said it matters. So that is, it's good. It's good to have a debate where one says yes and the other says no. What about you, Bhanuchandar? Do you think it is relevant at all because they're Annabhagya, Griha Jyoti? Yes, you can say, listen, Sudha, a lot of it is mirroring each other. But the people are different, the language is different, the geography is different, the history is different. How does it matter? This Congress going on and on, हमने कर्नाटका में किया, इधर भी हम करेंगे. How does it matter what Mr. Khadge says?
So I think political parties will always look for that marginal advantage, Sudha. So I think like they will use all the arrows in the quiver to win an election. So I think this is not surprising at all. And the impact of people from Karnataka, including the Chief Minister coming to Telangana, is demonstrating that, is saying that, see, we are not just promising, we are trying to even implement what you are saying. So I think that carries perhaps weight, is what perhaps the Congress political managers feel. One last point on this is Telangana is like very urbanized. It's 50% urbanized. Right? India is like 33% approximately, right? So I think when you actually focus on these guarantees, it appeals to these urbanized people who are not very divided based on caste, etc. So I think that is the demography
Good
of
point.
Telangana.
Very good point. Yeah, absolutely. Very logical, empirical evidence there. Bhanuchandra Nagarajan says 50% is urbanized. Therefore, these guarantees may matter. Let's now come to the next one, and that is being the clamor for caste census across the country. And recently, Bihar concluded it. The chorus is for giving more prominence to backward castes, and it has now reached a crescendo. Listen into what the Prime Minister said in the context in Telangana. I come back to you and talk about it.
बीजेपी ने आपसे वायदा किया है, बीजेपी सरकार में पहला सीएम बीसी समाज से ही होगा।
So, I am talking about this backward caste ka CM, backward caste ka CM. You know, Nagesh Kumar, you know, we've discussed it that the Congress, I mean, who's going to be the Chief Minister, whether it's going to be one Reddy or the other Reddy, but apparently the consensus is now more towards Revant Reddy in case the Congress makes it. I mean, we are very also clear about the BRS if it happens. Now, so far as the BJP is concerned, everyone is saying that, you know, it is going to be around who, whether it's going to be Kishan Reddy or it's going to be, Bandi Sanjay. The obvious choice is there in the context of backward caste CM. You tell me, in this election, does this again and again repeating this, has it mattered at all, Nagesh Kumar, or you think, like we have discussed, it is not for this election, Sudha, this is for 2024?
The BJP is paying lip service to this issue of supporting backward classes. The Prime Minister may belong to the OBC community, but the fact remains that there are very few takers for this, their stand that we will make an OBC a CM. After all, Bandi Sanjay is an OBC. Yes. They removed him quite abruptly and then brought a Reddy in his place. And now they say we will make an OBC the Chief Minister. It's not cutting much ice. And if they make Bandi Sanjay, we will be surprised, because there were also rumors that Bandi Sanjay was removed at the behest of the BRS. So that is another problem. Number two, see, the BJP is not very enthusiastic about the caste census undertaken by states like Bihar. If it was so enthusiastic about it, the centre should itself have initiated a caste census in the country, so that several of the misgivings about the strength of various caste reservations would have been removed. You see, now take the example of Telangana itself. See, the Madigas, who constitute a majority among the SCs, they have been demanding since the last 30 years categorization of the SCs into A, B, C, D categories. But nobody bothered. In fact, the BJP state unit was in favor of categorization of the scheduled caste, but the BJP leadership at the center was opposed to the categorization of the SCs. So BJP has always been a reluctant, reluctant as far as giving categorization of caste census is concerned.
Right, but you know, Mr. Prasad, Prime Minister Modi also made, I mean, I'm taking a leaf out of what Mr. Nagesh Kumar said, and I'm asking you about Madigas. He did say, and you know, he hugged the leader of the Madiga community. There were lots of tears, but now the Mallas, they are very angry. They're saying, you know, they get more than what we are promised and everything. But the larger question is, the BJP, particularly the Prime Minister, is making major efforts in looking at, you know, BC community का आदमी ही chief minister होगा. Do you think that is cutting any ice with the electorate? Do you think it will matter to the electorate when they go to vote tomorrow, or it's going to matter during the general elections, Mr. Prasad?
No, ma'am. This is very clearly proved in Telangana when it goes to 2018 elections. The prominent leader, Mr. R. Krishna, has been opted by Telugu Desam. Compared to BJP, Telugu Desam was very much strong at the time itself. Even after the tolerance by Telangana has not been happened, because the R. Krishna has been confined to LB Nagar itself. Where it comes to the removal of Bandi Sanjay, and they are playing a card that BC Chief Minister will be for Telangana. But it's rarest, and it's quite impossible as far as their vote bank is concerned and how they are polarizing and other things are concerned. But particularly the community, which SC community, Madiga, this thing, where they have more than 36%. If you really look into this counting of state-wise and country-wise, which was happened only in 1931. Since then, nothing has happened. Particularly Bihar has initiated, and after that no state is bothered. Right. Andhra Pradesh has started, and again it has got postponed. In the nationwide, we are all quite aware that more than 57% people are being there in BC. And this is the first ever time we have been telling that BC Prime Minister, nobody has told that the Prime Minister belongs to so-and-so community and other things. This is the first ever time which was happened. Even after, for the sake of BCs, nothing is happening in the country. But when it's not happening in a whole country, how all of a sudden will happen for Telangana? But in 2008 itself, Krishnaya has been not considered. We know pretty well about R. Krishnaya, sir. He has taken care for more children who have studied and other things. But all of a sudden, BC Chief Minister's slogan, it's an expired slogan for BJP, and nothing will happen.
All right. What about you, Bhanuchandar? Do you think that nothing will happen now, but something may happen in the long run, 4 months from now, when we are all going to sit and discuss the Lok Sabha election? Do you think that this is a strategy by the BJP?
See, BCs form 52% of population of Telangana.
Yes.
Right? And see, this issue is like not getting traction because the other parties are not countering BJP in it, and the media is also not covering the back and forth on this particular issue. But I think we may be in for a surprise. It's not that all the 52% are going to vote for the BJP in this particular election, but I think the wooing has begun. Probably like some will vote in this, and probably they will again reiterate the campaign during Lok Sabha, and they sort of are wooing this huge chunk of population that perhaps they feel has not been catered to. Not just this, like social justice has been one of the biggest points that BJP has taken, like what the previous panelists said, like on the Madiga issue, the subquota. But a couple of days ago, Amit Shah referred to giving justice for Valmiki Boya and Kulba communities. So I think this is where I think the BJP alone is speaking and nobody else is speaking. So I think the impact of this will only be seen when the results are out.
All right. He says, I love this because everyone gives their own perspective. Bhanuchandar says, wait, let the results come out. We will see if this has had any impact. But then a lot of people, cynical people may say, listen, this is the time of welfare politics. So depends on what you can do for the people. Now there's another thing, which is of course an import from Karnataka. We speak about first time voters, very important. Bhanuchandar said, 50% is urbanized. What about gig workers? Congress party did it in Karnataka, and their influence, because in the urban economy, in a post-COVID scenario, these gig workers are very, very important. Rahul Gandhi interacted with gig workers in Hyderabad, and this is what he said.
अपने मैनिफेस्टो में आपके लिए वेलफेयर बोर्ड बनाने की बात की है, तो वेलफेयर बोर्ड तो हम बना देंगे, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। हाँ सर। और दूसरा हमारा प्लान है कि 12,000 रुपए ऑटो ड्राइवर्स को हम दें। हाँ। ये हमारी प्लानिंग है। और तीसरी चीज सिंगल परमिट पॉलिसी, और आखिरी चीज जो आपके पेंडिंग चालान है उसको 50% पे खत्म करने का, ये हमारा प्लान है आपके।
But KTR had earlier also focused on gig workers. Like I said, this is a new constituency that political parties are actually focusing on, because if you influence them, then you influence the young voter. And KTR had promised to give them a tripartite welfare board. I mean, sounds very serious, but of course he means serious business. And what he had said on Twitter, on rather X, which is earlier called Twitter, he said met representatives from gig worker community yesterday, assured them that the BRS government will address the key issues faced by the gig workers in the state by way of establishing a tripartite welfare board. It is our responsibility to ensure that these youngsters who cater to our basic needs are taken care of. This is what KTR said. Let me now go to the guest and talk about it. First up is Mr. Nagesh. But do you think that this working, you know, Rajasthan, they've done it, Karnataka, they did it very successfully, and now in Telangana, this capturing an entire constituency, not based on their caste, but based on their profession, you know, like the dabba workers in Mumbai, you know, who go out and give food. I mean, they are also a captive kind of an audience. Do you think this gig worker is a very, very important constituency in the urban economy in post-COVID scenario, Nagesh Kumar?
Yes, they are an important constituency, but their numbers are less. You know, already the Andhra government, headed by Jagan Mohan Reddy, is giving a lot of sops to the auto rickshaw drivers. And you know, the Prime Minister had also announced about 2 months ago a sort of a giving tools to the Vishwakarma, under the Vishwakarma project, where he said that the barbers will be given tools, then carpenters will be given tools. Likewise, according to the profession, they will be given aid to pursue their profession and earn more money. So it is not a new approach, but I think it's a good approach. Rather than giving money on the basis of caste or community, in fact, yesterday the BRS announced that they would have a what you call a IT park for Muslims. So instead of making such fantastic claims, something help according to the professions where they can earn more money would be more helpful. It will empower them to, you know, to earn more money. I think that's a good idea.
Mr. Prasad, gig workers, you know, are not just, they are also people who bring us food, you know, online food, online clothes, online pin, online plane. I mean, I live with 2 young people and the bell keeps ringing. So their lives are revolving around, you know, these online, whatever happens, online things happen. I must say that I am also somebody who shops a lot on online. It's more convenient. So there is a new economy. I mean, in Telangana, there are 4 lakh gig workers. Are they very huge? No. But are they very small? No. And also there is a cascading influence. Don't you think that this focus on gig workers, because look at this, Congress does it, KTR announces it. KTR announces it, someone else. I mean, there is a copycat kind of a thing. Don't you think that this is an important constituency today, because like I said, they have a cascading effect of influence?
Which was happening in the Andhra Pradesh, like, you know, auto rickshaws have been paid a consulate amount of 10,000 rupees, and the chalanas, how they are bombarding on their head. The same way, Rahul Gandhi has smartly said that we'll give money and also reduces the chalanas 50%. Fortunately, every March or some of the month in Telangana also, the wave of 50% will be given to the chalanas whomever are being due. But when it comes to the workers who are on an online basis, who are serving the people, what Twitter message was clear and evident that they'll be supported. We really don't know when the central government and state government are earning money by giving petrol, for which there is no tax evaluations as far as the state and central government tax are concerned. But all of a sudden, everybody will smartly promises some consolidated amounts. With that, there is no effect. If they really want to address, they need to address on petrol and diesel, so that it will serve people with a good revenue pocket, and then it will also make some sense. Instead of that, they announce all sort of illogical promises. End of the day, it is only for the sake of elections. Nothing will practically possible.
Bhanuchandra, do you think it's illogical? Do you think that it's only for the sake of elections? Because I think Rahul Gandhi there means business, and so does KTR. I mean, so do other, because don't you think that they are now very, very important part of urban economy, and considering Telangana is 50% urbanized, Bhanuchandra?
I have 2-3 points to make on this, Sudha. Not only is Telangana highly urbanized, but also it has the higher unemployment compared to Indian average. The unemployment is 4.5% compared to 3.2% all over India, which might be surprising. And also, I think the gig workers might be considered among the unemployed people because they are not on the active payroll of many companies. So I think we have to keep that in mind. And second point is what my previous panelist was alluding to, is that inflation in Telangana is also higher compared to national average. The inflation is 6% compared to 5% on an average in India. And this 6% is also because of the increased VAT in petrol and diesel in Telangana. In fact, the BJP, JP Nadda promised to reduce VAT. Okay, coming to your point, yes, they are a very niche and important part of our economy, and I'm glad that political parties are speaking about it. And this is actually the domain. I mean, looking at the larger point, this is exactly the domain of left parties, and it is they have become so moribund that they have not spoken about it at all. So I think it's good that like political parties are speaking about it. One last point on this is that you remember the labor reforms that I think it was initiated by the BJP government when they came to power in 2020. One of them is Social Security Code. Among the labor code, I think there is going to be a big announcement. At least that's what I read in the news leading up to the Lok Sabha elections.
All right, and last but not the least is, of course, the controversy over the flagship scheme of the BRS, that is Raitu Bandhu. Even as the government promised 5,000 rupees per acre, the Election Commission had initially allowed it that it be dispersed to farmers for the Rabi crop. It later put a stop to it when the finance minister allegedly had spoken about it at an election rally, and there began a kind of tutu meme, like we say in Hindi, that you had gone and snitched, and therefore the EC, as if the EC will listen to rumors unless it has its own logic and of course the proof of it. Nagesh Kumar, how much will it impact the BRS? We've spoken about it earlier, but considering that all of you go and vote tomorrow, do you think that this is something very which will impact the BRS in a major way?
Yes, going by the past record, I think it should have an impact on the BRS because, among others, the Telangana Pradesh Congress President Revanth Reddy lost from Kodangal seat. That's what he told journalists. Because the amount due from this Raitu Bandhu scheme was dispersed at the last moment. And the same person lost in the assembly elections and won in the parliament elections. Number one. Number two is, this is a problem that is self-created. The Election Commission has rather more or less taken it up as suo motu. The BRS claims that the Raitu Bandhu was stopped because the PCC Vice President G. Niranjan lodged a complaint against the implementation of this scheme a day before the elections. But the point is that Harish Rao said that we will disburse the money today, that is 29th of November, a day before the elections. That is bound to influence the election. So, Election Commission also, I think, to use a strong word, and I would like to use a strong word deliberately, bungled in first giving a permission to this Raitu Bandhu on 23rd and reversing his decision on 27th. First of all, everyone knew that Raitu Bandhu is going to influence the election.
Absolutely.
Why could they not wait for the money to be disbursed after 3rd? After all, it's a matter of 5 days, and it is for the season. That is the for the what you call Rabi season. Rabi season.
So very strong words coming from Nagesh Kumar there. Mr. Prasad, do you think that this Raitu Bandhu, what Nagesh Garu said, I'm going to add to this, allegedly the finance minister had nearly boasted and said that, check your phones and you will get it on time and stuff like that. Almost like campaigning, super campaigning when the model code of conduct has kicked, has kicked in Telangana. Do you think it will impact the elections, the overall elections, and more importantly, will it impact the farmers? I mean, that's a more important question, Mr. Prasad.
It really impacts. And what Mr. Nagesh said was absolutely right, because the awareness of Election Commission, which is absolutely zero. and they smartly, instead of working smartly, they are working with the brainlessness. Coming into this, which was happening from 9 consecutive times, this is the 10th time the our farmers is about to get, and all of a sudden they have created some sort of breaks. The 7,700 crores so far has been disbursed, and 9 consecutive times which was happened. And just like a salary to the employees, today we are giving the salaries to Telangana employees who are working in Sachwala. Will it really affect the elections? Just like that, the Raitus who are getting this benefit from respect to government, and all of a sudden they get some breaks, and which will be given on 3rd, it won't make any difference as far as Raitu Bandhu is concerned, which was given consecutively 9 times, and there are some initial hiccups are also there. Instead of getting today, they have been getting 1 or 2 days here and there. But with that, the negativity towards Congress will be more, and it really impacts the election. That's what, nothing more than that.
Right. Banu Chandar, what is your contention on this entire thing? Do you think that the people, the farmers will understand? Yes, both the panelists have said that it impacts the farmers. You can't cheat on them. Maybe it was a bit of a bungled thing which happened. What is your contention? Do you think it will impact the elections? Finally, when you go to vote, do these things impact in a major way? Or you vote for the party you've made up your mind about?
So I think among a series of misgivings between farmers and KCR, BRS, this is also adding up to it. That's how I see it. He has bungled the Kaleshwaram project, the Bhagirathi project, and the Mission Kakatiya, and also the Dharani portal, which JP Nadda was calling as Zameen Harani portal or something like that. So I think in a series of back and forth or misgivings that farmers might have against KCR, this is adding to it. So I think I agree with the panelists that this is definitely going to make an impact. I also agree that this is going to be among the bunch of issues where PM has been going on about the farmhouse CM and all that, and even the Congress is going about the corruption and all of that stuff. I think so. It's all going to add up, but definitely this will have an impact.
But at the end of the day, I think our electorate are extremely intelligent people. It's been proven. And people like me who sit in air-conditioned studios maybe know nothing. It's the Amma there, who will tomorrow trundle and go and vote, and she will change the destiny of many politicians in Telangana. And to all of you, it's a big day for you tomorrow. Thank you very much for joining us on this broadcast. Nagesh Kumar, Mr. Prasad, such a pleasure always, and Banu, as always, it was great having you on the show. Thank you very much indeed. So tomorrow is a very, very big day for Telangana because Telangana goes to vote, and today we tried to decode the speeches, the last few speeches made by politicians. But do speeches matter? Do policies matter? Do promises matter? We'll get to know all that on 3rd of December when the South Indian will be with you in the same studio decoding election results. Thank you for watching. Namaskaram.
He thought he could outlast us. And 1 year later, the evidence is right here in this room.
Who will blink first?
So far from preventing the expansion of NATO, Russian actions have actually resulted in the expansion of NATO.
It's a mess for Russia and it's a mess for the Western world, for NATO and the United States.
Putin is a dictator, and if he loses, that means the end of his regime, and probably of him personally. So he has to keep going.
Year 2, no end in sight. Streaming now.
some of the policies that Prime Minister Modi's brought in is attracting investors to India.
Our growth story has been bought by all investors.
What would run in India's favor is this is a country which for 20-30 years the economy and the stock market have delivered performance which has not been matched by any other EM.
It's important to recognize the steps that we have made, and also recognize that these policy steps will bring results.
India has demonstrated its capability to bring diverse and at times conflicting sets of ideas on one table. G20 is proof of that. We are in a very interesting situation. The way India is being positioned today is that it is the bridge between the East and West, and it is the bridge between the developing and the developed world. So in that sense, it's a very, very important response.